Hi, once again, everybody. Welcome to Game of the Week. This is Chris Connolly.
Showing us becoming 40, won't have a fear, and I'm almost over.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Super Tuesday. We have Game 1 of our Middlesex League Boston Garden doubleheader. The first game pits Stoneham versus Woburn in the battle of the second and fourth place Middlesex League team. Gary, we're should be up for quite a ball game tonight. The Stoneham fans already, and the Woburn fans across the way are just getting here.
Basically, this is just a flip of a coin game. Two evenly matched teams. Each beat each other once during the regular season, Steve. Woburn taking a 4-0 win early on, and then Stoneham coming back with a 2-1 win. Basically, it's a game of whoever's going to have the hot goaltender. They got both all-league goaltenders here, and Tommy Cole and Brian O'Connell, and it's basically who gets hot.
Well, in Tommy Cole, you could perhaps have the league's best, but Brian O'Connell is no slouch in the spot net either. Brian O'Connell with under 2 goals per game average, and Tommy Cole comes in with a 2.1. Gary, you know from your times with Hockey Night, Tommy Cole considered the best in the state, but as you intimated before, both are playing very well at this time. Do you see this as an offensive shootout, maybe with the Seaburys matching with Duran and Johnstone?
Tough to say. If you go back to the regular season matchups, they were, for the most part, low-scoring games. Stoneham, as we know, a great offensive team, only scored 2 goals against Woburn in 2 games. And Woburn plays a defensive-style game. Remains to be seen. Probably a low-scoring, close game, maybe in overtime.
Yeah, possibly we could be in for a battle here. We could be here for a while. So I want to thank all the viewers along Stoneham, Woburn, Burlington, Billerica, and Wilmington for being with us for this exciting MIA Division I North semifinal action from the Boston Garden. Super Tuesday will continue right after these messages. Hi, everybody. Back here again. This is Steve Algieri along with Gary Demopoulos. Afraid we didn't introduce ourselves earlier, but we're back and we're excited about this semifinal game between Woburn and Stoneham, Gary. Gary, of note, as you pointed out, as we see the Woburn team on our left, take a look at them now, they're not wearing their tackler pants.
Probably a psychological ploy by Coach Frank Newak. He's been known to try little things here and there. Maybe because last time they were in the Garden, they didn't have their pants. Something along that line.
Of course, the last time they were here, they had Mr. John Carter. Turned out to be quite a goal scorer. Scored 51 goals for the season for Woburn. And Stoneham making their first appearance since 1977. But we'll get back to that after the national anthem. Back again here at the Boston Garden. Steve Algieri along with Gary Demopoulos. We're taking time out from our Daily Times Chronicle writing chores, Gary. And I think we're going to enjoy this ball game come along here on Continental Cable. Of course, Gary and myself work the Reading games most of the year. We've done a couple of Woburn Readings. We're hoping to have the Stoneham audience enjoy our call of this game.
Yeah, we got a game about to get underway. There's all-league goaltender Brian O'Connell for the Spartans. He's going to have a hot game tonight, Steve. Like we said before, we expect a low-scoring game. The fans are already into it behind us, if you can hear. Should be a great one.
While the center's getting ready for the draw, we're going to have for Stoneham, as PA announcer Jim Pryor does his usual Let's Play Hockey before the games, Gary. You're quite familiar with that, being from Arlington.
Yeah. One of the top public address men in high school hockey.
Okay, Jimmy Duran and Derek Edgley on the draw. Play is on. Chris Jewett chases for it, and Dave Tropiano bangs there along with number 11, Steve Sorabella. Play now goes into the Stoneham end. Chasing for it is all-league defenseman Derek Abruzzese. Tries to bank it off the boards, but it's kept in there by number 18, Bill Toomey. Now Stoneham starts out. It's Derek McCarthy on the right wing. Drops it back for Abruzzese. Sends it where it's stopped by Alan Cronin, and he sends it in just wide of Brian O'Connell in the Stoneham net. Now Edgley tries to hit Tropiano. His pass is a little too long. Tropiano gets flattened there at the blue line by Mike Barucci. And now the puck is sent behind the Woburn net, where Edgley bangs into Cronin. And coming up with the puck now is Greg Thomas for Woburn. Sends it to Jimmy Duran across center ice. Tries to make a deal on Abruzzese. Goes around him. Shifts out front. Puck is loose, but cleared away there by Derek McCarthy. Big drive by Cronin. And a great save by Brian O'Connell. Now play into the neutral zone. Here comes Derek the Edge Edgley. And Tropiano sends it in, but we're going to have an offside call.
Okay, Derek McCarthy in the zone too early. Greg Thomas made a nice defensive play, holding him into the zone and causing that offside, Steve. So far, just what we expected. 1 minute in, no score.
Okay, Gary, we're going to get our first look at the Seabury triplets here. That's Glenn at center, Craig on the left wing, and Brian on the right wing. Quite an exciting line.
Maybe one of the top lines in all of high school hockey in Massachusetts, Steve.
The fact that they work together. So, well, here's Craig in, but we have an offside call. Official Ned Bunyan making the call on that one. It did look like Craig was in just a bit ahead of the puck.
Yep, Craig just a little ahead of the play, and that was good for Woburn as he was about to tee up one of his slap shots.
Kevin Johnstone on the draw with Glenn, and the Spartans will control. It's Mike Noon dumping into the Woburn end. They battle on the boards. That's Ken Sylvia. Hits number 7, Brian McElhaney. And he can't control. Here comes Glenn now dealing with Brian. Here's Brian now out front. Craig kicks it in for a goal. Actually, I want to clarify that Craig did not kick it in on purpose. The puck just bounced off the skate and in. And Gary, we have a 1-0 Stoneham lead.
It appeared to go off the skate of Craig Seabury. And the referees are going to count the goal, saying he didn't kick it in. And Stoneham's got a quick 1-0 lead. Something I think they need to score early on Tommy Cole, and they've done it.
The Seabury line, so dangerous, Gary. You saw them work their magic coming down the ice. Fine passing from all three of them. I'm going to say it's going to be Craig from Brian and Glenn. That goal coming at 1:29 of the first period. There's Donnie Jackson with the puck. Now it's going to be sent back in there by Woburn's Chris Jewar. First picked up by Don Jackson. Here's a weak shot by Cronin, which was deflected and tied up by Brian O'Connell. That goal, once again, by Craig Seabury. Gary, 31 goals on the season. And that goal coming at 127.
Craig Seabury's 31st goal of the year. The assist went to brother Brian and defenseman Donnie Jackson. Tommy Cole really couldn't be faulted. He made the stop, and the rebound just deflected off the skate of Craig Seabury.
Okay, back to the point. It's number 9, Mike Barucci. Now Derek Edgley dumps it in where it's taken by Cole. He flips it off the grass. It was taken by Derek McCarthy. But now Alan Cronin with the puck. Can't make connections. Back to the point. Abruzzese, big drive. Stopped out front. Cleared away by Barucci. Not out. That's Tropiano. Now up with the puck is Jeff Lyons. He's working on a 1-on-3. Now picks up his winger, Mike Laughlin. He's knocked off the puck by Steve Sorabella. He starts out. Tries it Edgley. Pass a little too long. Goes now behind the hoop and net. Out front, Tropiano. Stopped by Cole. Now Sorabella will take a drive. Deflected away by Alan Cronin. McCarthy tees it up, goes wide of Cole. Sorabella now sends it around the boards. Now Derek McCarthy in after, tries to hit Edgley. He's knocked off the puck. Tanners try to start out. They can. It's McCarthy, the Avon Old Farms transfer. Now it's number 11, Jeff Lyons, starting out for the Tanners through center ice. The big slap shot, gloved by O'Connell, and he will hold on.
Good pressure there by Stoneham. The Derek Edgley line playing against Woburn's third line. Tommy Cole had to come up with a couple of stops there. Now we have 12:10 left.
Well, we're going to get a look at Stoneham's third line now. At center is number 7, Matt Canna Jr., and he'll team up with the Rando brothers, number 14, Larry, and number 12, Bob. And on defense, you have Sorabella and Donnie Jackson. There's a drive, stopped by O'Connell. Puck is loose. Backhanded by Johnstone, goes wide of the net. Spartans start out, Donnie Jackson with the puck. Hits number 7, Matt Cann, but he gives it up now at center ice where Brian McElhaney sends it in behind the Spartan net. It hits a rut, and the puck is loose where Johnstone battles for it now. Kenny Sylvia with it. Johnstone gets it back to the point, and we're going to have a cross-check penalty coming up here on Stoneham, I do believe, Gary.
Yep, it looks like number 14, Larry Russo, is going to go off for cross-checking behind the net. He laid the lumber on Woburn winger Kenny Sylvia, and we're going to see the Tanner power play for the first time tonight.
I guess we're going to stand corrected. They did stop the play when the Woburn people had the puck, so we want to apologize for that mishap. Again, it's Ken Sylvia going off for a minute and a half for a cross-check, and the time coming at 3:14.
The referees stopped the play when Stoneham had the puck. We figured it was going to be on Russo, but Stoneham power play, and Seabury's out there, Steve.
We're all a little bit confused now. I think even the Stoneham crowd thought so, too. There's Glenn now in front of Brian, poke checked away by Tommy Cole. Tommy's a good goalie, and they're using his stick very well, all his equipment to his benefit. It's Craig now with the puck, gets it back to brother Glenn behind the goal line. He's knocked off the play there by Bill Toomey, and it is cleared. Brian O'Connell leaves it there for Derek Edgley playing the point. Edgley paired up with Derek Abruzzese on the point with the Seabury triplets up front. Here comes Glenn through center ice. Through the blue line, knocked off the play there by Toomey. But brother Craig, who scored his 31st goal just moments ago, up with it. Back to the point for Abruzzese. He holds it. Looking to try to hit Craig. Craig now comes up with it. Tanner's in the box. Big slap shot. Stopped by Cole about shoulder high. And now it's flipped into the crowd there by number 18, Bill Toomey.
A lot of talent out there on this power play for the Spartans. Seabury brothers, offensive threats in their own right, and then you have a guy like Derek Edgley, a 25-goal scorer, playing the point with an all-leaguer, Derek Abruzzese.
Stoneham comes into this game, Gary, having won in their last 5 in a row. Of course, injuries has been a factor towards them. They lost Jim Duran for a few games, and of course, Pat Durkin has not played since the Reading game, and that kind of hurt the Tanners in their drive for first place, since Reading is on a 9-game streak and then took the Middlesex League title. Spartan still on the power play, but Woburn controls. Jimmy Duran very smartly rags it, now flips it out through center ice zone, where Derek Abruzzese has to collect in the Spartan end. He's going to set up for one possible final rush here in this power play. Abruzzese now to Glenn Seabury on the right side. Over to brother Brian, he carries in, tries to deal on Cronin, he holds across out front. Can't hit Glenn as he was tied up by Toomey. Nice play by the Tanner defenseman. And now it is cleared into the Stoneham end. We're all even now. Only about, I think, one shot, Gary, on that power play for the Spartans.
Stoneham had the puck most of the time in the Woburn zone, but the Tanners played a good box and allowed only that one shot on Tommy Cole. And Steve, I think we should mention Woburn with another injury tonight. David Caruso, a fine scorer, is out, suffered an injury in a car accident, I believe, over the weekend, and Tanners will miss him. He's a 13-goal scorer as well.
Okay, Kevin Johnstone on the draw now. Stoneham has their third line, Matt Can with it. Now it goes to number 12, Bobby Rando. Rando dumps it in. Cole will leave it behind the net. They take a bang there with Cronin and Rando now up through center ice. We have an icing possibly. Excuse me, that's number 14, Larry Russo. We have a misprint in our program. I believe I called them brothers, but we have Larry Russo, number 14, and Bob Rando, number 12, flanking Matt Can, number 7, at center. 9:54 to go first period. This game coming to you from the Boston Garden in the MIAA Division I North semifinals. Stoneham has the early lead. They lead Woburn here 1-0. As we mentioned earlier, Gary, the two teams split in their regular season meetings.
And two evenly matched squads, as we said before.
Tanners with the puck. Mike Laughlin can't make connections. Chasing for it now, number 17, Steve Purcell. But that's Donnie Jackson with the puck. Tanners try to battle, but Brian O'Connell now leaves it for Mike Noon. Here comes the Spartans again. It's Matt Can. Tries to get it by Cronin. Cronin with a nice check. Shows why he's an all-league defenseman. And now Tommy Cole, who's very adept at handling the puck, has an assist this season. Now here comes Cronin. Gets by a check from Tropiano. At the center ice, he'll just dump it in where Donnie Jackson controls. Now we have a hand pass with Jackson passing it to Edgley.
Steve, Garden's filling up now. It looked early on that Woburn didn't have too many fans here, but of course they're known for having a big crowd at all their sporting events, and they're filling in quite nicely now. Pretty good crowd.
Of course, Stoneham came in full force very early and quite loud, as you can possibly tell which side we're sitting on. Jimmy Duran on the draw with Edgley. The first line's going at it here. Picking up is Thomas. Thomas's shot is stopped by Abruzzese. Now the Spartans start out. Here comes Edgley. 25 goals in the season. He's bottled up, though. And the Tanners get the puck back. Now Derek McCarthy, in turn, collects the puck. Where the now play is loose. And now Tropiano drops it in on Cole, where he'll stick it up the wing and over the glass, and we're going to have a face-off in the Woburn end. Gary Russell, game number 2. Now it takes a regular shift for the Tanners on defense, so we take a look at the Woburn bench. He's number 21, Kevin Johnstone. Gary, just an immense talent. Johnstone, 8 goals on the season.
One of the top talents in the Middlesex League. You might not figure it by his
8 goals, but best 8 goal scorer in the state.
He's got a guy that has to be watched here tonight.
Tanners start out. Chris Dewar, the hat trick against Chelmsford. They get the Tanners here. His shot goes off the shins of Mike Noon and now into the neutral zone. Here comes Johnny Jackson through center ice. Gets by Duran. Now shifts by Thomas. Backhands one in just to the left of Cole. Alan Cronin misfires, but now the Tanners start out. Jimmy Duran, 17 goals on the season, is knocked off the puck. Now play in the neutral zone. Center ice is collected. Now knocked off the puck. It's the Seabury's on. Craig Seabury with it. Looking to deal. Chris Dewar now to center ice, where Jim Durant has. He's got about a 1-on-3 here. Takes a slap shot, hits the post. Gee, big slap shot from 60 feet is Gary. That was a wicked blast. Now Toomey, forechecked by Brian Seabury. Toomey gets it back. Now off the boards, here's Kevin Johnstone. The play we made, get by Noon, looking to deal. Out front, shot! Looks loose in front. Tanners battle for it. Back to the point, it's Toomey. Big drive, stopped out front. First shot, blocked by Brian Seabury. Now the triplets try to start out. Craig's just going to send it off the boards and get it out of trouble for now. As Toomey in turn sends it back in, where Brian O'Connell has to use his stick. Kevin Johnstone bangs with Matt Can. And now goes to the point. Toomey's going to send it around the boards, where Steve Sorabello, that's 19, Mike Noon, will ice the puck, actually into the Tanner zone, where Al Cronin sends it up to the left wing. That's number 7, Brian McElhaney. Is Johnstone looking at Silvio up front. Johnstone holds it. He's upended on the play. No call. Tanners can't keep it in. Spartans clear it. Tommy Cole has to make a play on it. We're just under 7 minutes now in the first period. Stoneham leads 1-0. Tropiano comes down the left wing. He falls down. Tanners get into the neutral zone. This is Derek Abruzzese. He flips it now, where Tommy Cole comes out, makes a play, where it goes to Mike Laughlin for Steve Purcell, and we have a whistle. 6:32 to go, first period.
Steve, Tommy Cole acts like a third defenseman back there. It looks like something new he's been added to his game, coming out of the net a lot more recently. We saw that against Chelmsford earlier in the tournament. And he knows what to do with that puck. As you said, he has an assist already this year.
Took a good look at Frank Newak, the resplendent Woburn High coach, in his usual haberdashery, now in his 8th year behind the Woburn Dasher. Was shot on by Steve Purcell, easily sticked aside by O'Connell. Now the Spartans start out. Here's Edgley, tries to get by Cronin. His shot from a tough angle goes wide of Cole. Abruzzese keeps it in. Tommy will glove it now in the Tanner net. And now sticks it along the boards. The Spartans going to start out. It's Jeff Lyons, number 11, tries to deal on Sorabello. A drop pass is intercepted by Edgley. Now Derek McCarthy bangs along the boards, where Abruzzese now gets it. We're at 6 minutes left in the first period. Here's Abruzzese, intercepted by Purcell. Puck is loose, backhander, rebound shot, scores! Jeff Lyons ties this one up for Woburn.
There's Jeff Lyons parked right there on the right post, looking for that rebound. Billy Toomey got the original rebound off the Al Cronin blast, and O'Connell couldn't hold on to it, and Lyons just plunked it in for his 12th goal of the season, and we're all tied 1-1.
Take a look at Brian O'Connell. Nothing he can do on that one, as he was just under siege. And the Tanners made that rebound count, Gary, as they potted it home. There's Jeff Lyons, number 11, senior forward, goal number 12 on the season.
And ever since the Spartans scored, Woburn has seemed to take the game away.
They play back on in the Woburn end. There's Alan Cronin with the puck being forward checked by Glenn Seabury. Now Jimmy Duran gets by Donnie Jackson. He has a break. A little head of steam, a big drive. Is partially deflected. Now out front, wrist shot by Thomas, scores!
Great shot by Billy Toomey. Took the pass from behind the net, picked that top far corner. And the Tanners have had a penchant for doing this all year, getting a couple of quick goals.
It's Greg Thomas, Gary, on the wrist shot. He was set up out front there by Duran and Jewar. And the Tanners, just that quickly now, have a 2-1 lead.
We'll have to check.
You don't think it was Thomas on the goal? Well, wait to get the official announcement. Now the play is on. Here comes Jimmy Duran. In any event, it's 2-1. Jewel with the wrist shot. Stopped by Brian O'Connell as he tried to go through the 5-hole. But Brian was able to make a save in the midsection. As Brian O'Connell in the net, a little upset with his defenseman as the Tanners were able to just break right in. That goal coming for Thomas at 6:30.
That assist went to defenseman Mike Barucci and forward Chris Jewar, who made the fine pass. We originally thought it was...
Had O'Connell going one way. And now we have a face-off in the Stoneham end.
Woburn has the ability to have an offensive spurt now and then, and right now they're putting it to the Spartans, and Stoneham's going to need an icing or something to get cool down this pressure.
Spartans have to regain their composure here as the Tanners have dominated the last few minutes. And the play is still on in the Stoneham end. Spartans trying to break out. They have their third line out there. Number 12, Bob Rando, going to take the big shot. Tommy Cole plays it off the boards. Then like a good goaltender who can use his stick. But now it's picked up by the Spartans as Cole's clearing pass was intercepted. Now play on in the neutral zone with Super Tuesday coming to you from the Boston Garden here on a March 8th. All Middlesex League semifinal. We're bringing you game one to our Stoneham and Woburn viewers. Also joining in is Burlington, Wilmington, and Bill Ricker along the Continental Cable Network. Derek Edgley now up to Derek McCarthy. And now the play is sent in behind the Woburn end. Tommy Cole will stick it around the boards for number 19, Mike Laughlin. Now is Jeff Lyons in center ice. Steve Purcell forechecks. They steal it from Jackson. Purcell's got Lyons up front. Oh, his tip went just over the net. Now David Tropiano, the freshman, starts out. He has McCarthy with him. His Trope takes the wrist shot, tied up by Tommy Cole. 3:47 remaining first period. Tanners lead 2-1, Gary. We get a good look at Tommy Cole, the all-scholastic goalie in the Woburn net.
And the Spartans are going to be going on a power play. The refs caught Michael Laughlin behind the play.
For an interference, I believe.
It was kind of an unneeded penalty as the play was going back up ice. And Mike Laughlin just knocked the Stoneham defenseman down. And you can't give the Seaberries too many chances on the power play. They're just too good of players.
I mean, those high numbers that they've accumulated, Gary, not exactly been done against women and children. I mean, there's some quality teams in the Middlesex League. And they are. Oh, which can only strike fear in the hearts of the rest of the Middlesex League. But for Stoneham, it should be quite an exciting season next year. But 1988 is not exactly done just yet either. Kept in by Edgley now. Derek Edgley, 25 goals. Wrist shot goes over Tommy Cole's glove over the net. Kept in by Brian Seabury along the left wing boards. He tries to deal. He's forechecked by Greg Thomas. Thomas steals and now clears it all the way in on Brian O'Connell. Has to make a easy save, but is a shot on goal. Spartans will regroup. 52 seconds left on the penalty. Derek Abruzzese, the all-league defenseman for the Spartans, tries to hit Glenn Seabury a little too long, but Craig collects it now. Has his brother in the slot. Craig will stop. Back it goes to Abruzzese. He holds it to Craig Seabury. He loses it. Mike Barucci banks it off the boards. Jewell will chase, but now it's taken by Edgley. Big shot. Nice play by Toomey. Get the stop, but the Spartans still control. Glenn Seabury with inside the net out front. Cleared away by Barucci. Back to Abruzzese. And we're going to have a man in the crease, I do believe, Gary. Although Glenn Seabury, from where he is now, you wouldn't know it. But we're going to have a face-off outside the Tanner end.
That's Alan Cronin showing why he was an all-league defenseman this year. Rugged in front of that net, and he just pushed Glenn Seabury into the crease and got the face-off. Woburn's looked good on this short-handed situation so far, Steve.
Of course, Woburn comes into this game 15-2-4, runners-up to the Middlesex League. Stoneham with a fine 16-5-1 record, 4th place in the Middlesex League. In the game following this one, it will be the first place Reading Rockets against 3rd place Belmont. So it's an all Middlesex League affair here from the Boston Garden on Tuesday, March 8th. Spartans still on the power play, 15 seconds remain. Brian Seabury gets a shot on Cole, but Tommy held the short side, made the save. Now Jimmy Duran with the puck. He holds it, rags it to center ice. Where Steve Purcell loses it, Abruzzese. The penalty is up. We're all even. As Purcell loses it to Glenn Seabury, but now Bill Toomey gets it back. Holds it. Spartans intercept, but Cronin gets it back. Intercepted again by Glenn Seabury. Coming in, Jimmy Duran makes a nice check on him to take Glenn Seabury away from the play. Now Alan Cronin and Glenn Seabury bang. That's another thing about the Seaburys, Gary. They're not afraid of the physical contact. Here's Craig now, intercepts. Has to wait for brother Glenn, but they blow the whistle for it offsides. As number 17, Steve Purcell, bangs in a Craig Seabury at the blue line.
Big hit by Purcell a little after the whistle, but the referee used good judgment there and did not call a penalty.
1:50 to go in the first period. This game coming to you from the Boston Garden in Woburn. Super Tuesday here in the Middlesex League. Woburn 2, Stoneham 1. In the first period action, this MIAA Division I North semifinal game. This is Steve Algieri along with Gary Demopoulos taking time out from our writing chores at the Daily Times Chronicle to bring you this game along the Continental Cable Systems. Mike Noon, junior defenseman for the Spartans, sends it up to Bob Rando. Takes a hit, but Matt Can, the junior center for the Spartans, has the puck. Gets it to Russo, intercepted by Kevin Johnstone, who backhands it back into the Spartan zone. Now Brian McElhaney forechecks. Donnie Jackson has to play it. Play still in the Woburn end. McElhaney keeps it in. Johnstone, nice glove, backhander. Great save by O'Connell. Kept in now by Cronin, but now it's banged out by Rando. Now playing the neutral zone. Fine play by Kevin Johnstone. Gary showed why he will be a force to reckon with next year in the Middlesex League. Alan Cronin with us. We reached the 1 minute mark of the first period. We get the call from Jim Pryor on the PA. Johnstone misfires on a little dump and now intercepted by Ken Sylvia. He'll just send it to the boards and the Tans will get a line change. Tropiano with the puck. Kept in by Lyons. Big slap shot goes wide of Brian O'Connell. Kept in by Barucci. And it's sticked away. Now Cronin with the big drive. Saved by O'Connell. Fine stop. The long clear goes to Cronin. He sticks it away into the corner where Donnie Jackson sends it to center ice. 29 seconds remain in the first period. Now play on in the Stoneham end, intercepted by Lyons. Lyons can't control. Derek Edgley keeps it in, kept in by Barucci. 18 seconds left. Tropiano battles. And now play on. Here comes Derek Edgley with one last possible chance. There's a shot gloved by Tommy Cole as 9 seconds remain. As again, we take a look at Tommy Cole in the Woburn net.
Great stop there by Brian O'Connell earlier on Kevin Johnstone. Had to be the stop of the game so far. Kevin Johnstone showed a lot of hockey judgment handling that pass, using the glove to knock it down right in front of him. But Brian came up large with the save.
And that kept Stoneham in this game, although it's still far too early. But a 3-1 Woburn lead going in the locker room would be a big lift for the Tanners, as it looks like we're going to run out this period. 5 seconds remain. Chris Jewer and now Jimmy Duran will pick up the loose puck as Glenn Seabury and Alan Cronin bang at center ice. But nothing's going to come of this, Gary, as we take a look at the officials, and now both teams are heading for the bench area. as we're going to make new ice here. So after one period in the Boston Garden, we have Woburn 2, Stoneham 1. Gary, a little brief recap of the first period before we cut away for a commercial, then come back with some highlights.
Well, figure, Steve, the game was just like we said it wouldn't be. It was a wide-open offensive first period. Tanner's firing 14 shots on Brian O'Connell, with Stoneham countering with 10 on Tommy Cole. And Spartans appeared to give the puck away too much in their own zone, and you can't do that against a team like Woburn, an opportunistic team like the Tanners. And
well, you have to give Woburn the edge in that period, Gary, as you said. But the Spartans are a very high-scoring team. They feature 4 of the best offensive forwards in the Middlesex League and now in the North Sectional in Division I. So this game is far from over. So we're going to pause for 1 minute here, and we'll be back with some highlights from the first period. Back here at the Boston Garden, this is Steve Algieri along with Gary DeMofflin, and we're going to be joined by Jim Markham, sports writer for the Daily Times Chronicle, after we get through some first period highlights, Gary. Of course, Stoneham and Woburn battling 2-1 with the Tanners lead.
Here's Stoneham's first goal. Cross in front and off the skate of Craig Seabury. The rebound just deflected right off his skate, and now Stoneham took a 1-0 lead early at 1:29 in the first period.
Of course, but Woburn was unfazed by that, as the Tanners then struck for 2 more goals to take the lead. Next goal, I believe, is scored by Thomas, and that's going to be followed up with a goal from Gary, get the scores, from Jeff Lyons. Lyons will get the first one, then Greg Thomas, and the Tanners will take a 2-1 lead, as we're waiting to see that footage coming up in just a second. Good crowd on hand, Gary. I'd like to see what the attendance figure will be. Of course, they take both games combined, and you probably get something like around 8,000 people here tonight.
Best public school hockey in the state. Here we go.
Okay, as the Tanners putting the pressure on, here's the rebound. Number 11, Jeff Lyons, puts in that rebound as goalie Brian O'Connell was on the ice, and he poked home the rebound. That goal came at what time, Gary?
9 minutes and 10 seconds, and then the Tanners took only 20 seconds to go ahead 2-1. We'll be seeing that goal shortly. It was scored by winger Greg Thomas, who snapped a wrist shot past Brian O'Connell from close range. Here it is right here, as Sylvia throws it into the zone. Chris Jewell with a fine pass out front to Thomas, and he picked that far corner over O'Connell's right shoulder, only 20 seconds after Lyons' goal, and that gave Woburn the 2-1 lead they hold now.
So there's, you see part of the Woburn crowd. We're going to see some more highlights coming up in a second. Following this game, Gary, Reading and Belmont, of course, by the time people are going to be viewing this, that game's already going to be after the fact. Quick prediction here is we're sitting here before the game, so put yourself on the line, so we're going to see if people know you're smart or stupid.
Reading 5, Belmont 3.
Okay, here's a quick shot by Chris Jewell, and Brian O'Connell. He has some words for his defense, as the Tanners were just coming in, storming like stormtroopers on that right after the second goal. And it was all Woburn there for a while, but Brian O'Connell with a nice save kept Stoneham at just a 2-1 deficit in the first period.
And with offensive players like the Seaburys, that's not really they're not really out of the ball game at all.
So coming up, we're going to have one more replay, I believe. It's going to be a shot off the post.
Yep. It's Spartans clearing the puck. There's McElhaney center. Here's the great save on Johnstone by O'Connell. Flashed that right pad, and that one in would have been 3-1 Woburn.
Gary, as you commented on that earlier, it was a fine play by Kevin Johnson. I thought we were going to see the big blast by Jim Durant that rang the post from about 70 feet out, but that was just an equally fine scoring bit for Kevin Johnstone. All right, joining us here while we still have a few more moments between the first and second period is Jim Markham, Daily Times Chronicle sports writer. Jim, you were here the last time the Tanners were in the Garden in 1982 when they had John Carter. How can you compare the two teams from the 1982 Woburn High Tanners to this season's Woburn Tanners?
Well, I think back in '82, the Tanners had a little bit of a larger nucleus of strong players. Right now, really, their catalyst and leader, as he's been all season, is Jim Durant. They do have a fine core of other players, not quite at the level of Durant, but they all play their role quite well. And as Frank Newark, the coach of Woburn, has stated all year, there really isn't any superstars on the team, and that's the big difference this year as opposed to then. They did have maybe 4 or 5 really big players back then. But they've gotten as far as they did back then, and they've done it on hard work, perseverance, and some fine goaltending by Tom Cole, the league's MVP.
Hey, Jim, now yourself personally, as a sports writer, I know night in, night out, we cover teams. It's a job, but to get to a game like this at the Boston Garden, it's got to be exciting to be sitting up in the press row where guys like Lee Montville, Francis Rosa, Joe Gigliotti, and others have sat. You're up there hobnobbing now. I mean, the Daily Times Chronicle, we're the paper here tonight. We have 3 of the 4 teams are from our circulation area. Of course, the Stoneham Independent is owned by the Daily Times Incorporated. Pretty exciting. You're up there with Woburn sports writer Rick Pearl and also Lee Foch. It makes the job a little more enjoyable tonight, I would think, huh?
Oh, it sure does. And it's a beautiful vantage point up there. And if you've been bouncing around some of the high school rinks and some of the cold ones, especially in the dead of the winter, it makes it that much better.
Okay, Jim, you've seen Stoneham, I believe, maybe one or 2 times this year, maybe once. So far, they're trailing 2-1, but the way their scoring can come about, I'm sure you're not putting this in the win column for Woburn just yet either.
No, not yet at all. The Tanners have been a slow starting team throughout the season, but there's still 2 more periods to go, and Stoneham didn't get here without having a very hard-working team. So I'm looking for a very good last 2 periods.
Okay, Jim Markham from the Daily Times Chronicle. Thanks for being with us, and get back up to the rafters and enjoy yourself, Jim.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Now, Jim, we ran out. We gave him the Stoneham crowd behind us. Okay, it's 2-1, Woburn over Stoneham. We're just about to start the second period as we see the Spartans coming out. Now the Tanners coming out of the runway led by Tommy Cole.
Tanners, of course, shedding their Cooperall pants. We'll have to find out after the game the real reason behind that.
I mean, they've worn those pants, Gary, for the last 3-4 years? And I think it allowed them to block a lot more shots because the extra padding that was provided. Of course, the Tanners, I don't see any drop-off in play at all, but it'll be interesting to find out why the Tanners do not have their Cooperall pants on.
Spartan players talking with goaltender Brian O'Connell just prior to the start of this second period. Here's Tommy Cole getting his thoughts together right before the drop of the puck.
We're just about ready to. Teams are stretching out a bit. We take a look at Steve Sorabella right there from the Spartans. And we're about ready for second period action. He has a fan club right behind us.
Steve's a fine junior defenseman for the Spartans. Will be one of the better players on the team next year.
Right, just a junior. And the Spartans do return quite a few players. Of course, Captain Derek Abruzzese will be departing, but he's been the glue of the Spartan defense. So, about to give us second period play-by-play is Mr. Gary Demopoulos.
Okay. Steve, of course, wanting to save his beloved voice for his Reading Rockets here in the second game. It's referee Ned Bunyan waiting for the centers. Derek Edgerly will be on the face-off for the Spartans along with Jimmy Duran, I believe. Yeah, nope. It's going to be Kevin Johnstone as Tanners switching up lines a bit here. We're underway. Derek Abruzzese tries to throw it into the Tanner zone and it's quickly tied up along the right boards.
Gary, what do we have for shots in that first period?
Woburn 14, Stoneham 10. A wide open first period. Something we weren't looking for.
I know, we're expecting probably be 2-1 with about 5 minutes left in the game instead of 2-1 going in the second
And again,
period.
it still could be with the goalies we have in this game. Puck goes behind the Tanner and Cole clears it around. And here's Alan Cronin with it. Throws it out center to Kevin Johnstone. Johnstone lost it. And Edgerly clears it back down. And we're going to have an icing call on the Spartans.
Just 23 seconds into the second period. Play starting a little slow, but not unexpected as we're taking a look around the massive garden. Of course, it's massive compared to the high school rinks, which we sit through all season. I know the high school teams love playing here. That's always a goal for every Division I school to get to the Final Four here at the Garden. And this season in the North, we have an all-Middlesex League affair.
Okay, face off to the left of Brian O'Connell, Johnstone and Edgerly. And comes back. Alan Cronin with it on the right. Cronin rushing in. Knocked away. Out in the slot to Johnstone. Quick shot just wide. Cronin throws it back into the Spartan zone. Sorbella gets it, throws it around to Tropiano. He can't clear, and now it goes out of the zone. Edgerly picks up the loose puck. 2-on-1. Edgerly's in. He's short, just wide. It comes out of the zone. Abruzzese holding on to the puck. And Derek Edgerly now just missed on that bid, Steve.
We're going to have a penalty coming up here, Gary, on Woburn. As we're going to have an interference call, and the Spartans are going to be on the power play. Let's take a look as we see referee Ned Bunyan, former new prep coach, fine official in Eastern Mass. He gives the interference call. And going into the box is Kevin Johnstone, number 21, the junior forward for the Tanners.
Yeah, Kevin flattened one of the Spartan players right in front of the Stoneham bench. And now they caught him for it. And now the Spartans will be on the power play. Here is Craig Seabury with it. Brian Seabury in the left corner to Glenn behind the net. Glenn holding, looks for brother Craig, and couldn't really get the good wood on that shot, and Tommy Cole covered it up.
The Spartans very methodical on their power play, Gary. They love to, set up around there. They'll be very deliberate. They won't hurry and take wild shots. They're looking for the good shot. So consequently, they don't have the highest amount of shots in a game, although they have 10 in the first period.
Craig back to Derek Abruzzese on the blue line. On the right to Seabury. Craig Seabury back to Abruzzese. He tees it up. It's kicked out by Tommy Cole. And Greg Thomas clears the zone. Abruzzese back to get it for the Spartans. Holds behind his net. Looks for Glenn too far in front of him, and the Tanners clear it back down. 45 seconds left on the power play. Here's Derek Edgerly, fine sophomore for the Spartans. He's broken up by Jua. Collects in the corner. Sends it out front. Loose puck. And we're going to have a hand pass there as Craig Seabury knocked it down.
Yeah, I think we should clarify that rule for a lot of people. It's not necessarily has to be deliberate. I mean, a player does not have to glove the puck and say, like, here, take it. Any type of handling of the puck with the glove, whether accidentally or deliberate, will result in a hand pass when it goes to a teammate.
Puck goes into the Tanner zone. Alan Cronin after it, golfs it, and it's going to go into the crowd. 13:01 left here, second period. Woburn leading 2-1. Spartans on their third power play of the game.
Gary, Alan Cronin, number 4, the Tanner senior defenseman. You've seen quite an improvement in his play from his junior to senior year. Kind of had a penchant for taking, well, not stupid penalties, but he took a few every game, and it kind of would hurt the Tanners. This season playing very steady.
Yes, he's a rough player and a hard-nosed player, and he seemed to be more under control this year, and he's one of the top defensemen in the league. Ken Sylvia clears it down. Brian O'Connell has to make the save. Derek Abruzzese with it behind the net. Derek carries through center ice. Over to Craig Seabury over the Woburn line. Seabury into the corner. Craig holds. Walks in front, broken up by Cronin. Sylvia can't clear. Comes in front. Oh, just missed by Glenn. And it's cleared down by Cronin, and that's going to do it for the Spartan power play as icing is called on the Tanners. Another fine short-handed situation for Woburn.
Spartans didn't really muster too much. Woburn packing it in front of Tommy Cole. Of course, Gary, the Tanners can leave Cole kind of hung out to dry because they have that much faith in their senior all-scholastic goaltenders. We take a look at Brian O'Connell, also a fine goaltender for the Spartans in All-Liga for the second year in a row.
Of course, anyone who saw the Chelmsford game knew that Tommy Cole had a big hand in that. If it wasn't for him, it could have very well been a 6-1, 7-1 Chelmsford
Tommy
lead.
Cole won that game for the Tanners. I know Chris Jewett had the 3 goals, but if it wasn't for Cole in the net, Jewett never would have had an opportunity to make those goals count.
Cronin tries to clear. Can't. Fighting for it in the zone. Matt Can. Donnie Jackson keeps it in. Here's Can with it. Looking for Jackson, couldn't get it to him, and kept, no! It appeared that Matt Can had kept the puck in the zone, but the referee ruled it just snuck over the blue line.
Gary, next week we're going to have the state final here at the Boston Garden on Tuesday night, March 15th, 1 week from tonight, as we're broadcasting this game on Super Tuesday, March 8th. Gotta like one of the Catholics. Catholic Memorial or St. John's will be there. But of interest, we're going to have a Middlesex League team there regardless of whom it is. So it's going to be a little special interest for all of us along this area.
Oh, Can hauled down in the corner. Cleared out. Jackson intercepts the pass. He's broken up. Al Cronin with it now for the Tanners. Looks on the right for Laughlin. Can't get it to him. Here's Mike Noon, a rush. Defenseman shot. Cole sticks it aside. Loose puck. McCarthy can't come up with it. Right in front. Tropiano shot. Cole makes the stop. Edgerly the rebound. Blocked in front by Cronin. Spartans putting on some pressure here. And Cronin with it underneath them. Tropiano fighting, and it's going to have a face-off as Steve Purcell smashes David Tropiano into the boards, and Spartans looking for a penalty.
That could have very easily been called, Gary, but it seems like during the tournament, the referees will let a lot of things go. That was pretty blatantly after the whistle. I think it was just a case where Steve made the check just a bit too late. I don't think there's any malicious intent involved in that play.
Okay, face-off to the left of Tommy Cole, Edgley and Johnstone, who of course both were on the Select 16 team together this winter. Comes out to center ice, Abruzzese throws it back in on Cole, sticks it over to Ken Sylvia. Tanners have a 3-on-2. Here comes Johnstone. He can shoot a puck. Great stop by O'Connell. Sylvia shot. O'Connell gloved it. It's loose. And now we're going to have a face-off as Brian O'Connell held onto the puck. Fine save.
That was just a rocket by Kevin Johnstone coming in the right face-off circle from about 20 feet out. He tees it up, but Brian O'Connell, who plays his angles very well, was able to get the pads on it and then cover up. So there was no real dangerous rebound on that play as we take a look at the senior goaltender from Stoneham.
Of course, his brother Kevin was a fine goaltender at Matanon, who having a pretty fair season themselves this year.
Awesome. No one's going to touch them.
Yeah,
Unless Agawam gets hot.
Puck goes behind the Stoneham zone. McElhaney and Steve Sorabella with it. Sorabella can't clear. Sorabella gets it to Craig. Nope, not cleared as Ferrucci throws it back in. Sorabella around to Abruzzese. Stolen by McElhaney. Flips it back around the goal. Johnstone and Craig Seabury battling, and Kevin looking for a draw. Can't get it. Now wheels out of the corner. O'Connell makes a good stop on his shot. Johnstone keeps it in. McElhaney going for it with Craig Seabury on the left. Abruzzese with it around the boards to Sorabella. In it. Abruzzese now ties it up in the left corner as the Tanners putting on more pressure.
Play is certainly picking up here in the last few minutes for both teams. The Tanners rifled about 3 shots in the last minute on O'Connell. But again, Gary, as we've said throughout the broadcast so far, O'Connell is showing his fine credentials there. As now he's going to be faced with a face-off to his left. The Seabury line is out there now to draw with Jimmy Duran.
Chris Chewer moving over. This is the play they scored on against Chelmsford to tie the game. Duran looking to drop it. Can't get it. Chewer gets it now. Russ Gay flips it in. Comes over to Greg Thomas. Shot blocked by Donnie Jackson. Fighting for it along the boards. Duran comes out of the corner with it. Takes a hit from Glenn. Throws it in front. And Chewer couldn't handle it. Here comes Brian Seabury. Shot on Cole from easily gloved by the senior. And Al Cronin now behind the net. Hit by Craig Seabury to Brian. Throws it in front. Nobody there for Stoneham. Brian fighting in the right corner. Glenn hit off the puck by Russell Gay. Stays on it. Craig back to the point. Too far for Donnie Jackson. And it goes all the way back to the Spartan zone. Michael Noon back for it. Has trouble with it behind the net. Gets it over to Brian. And Brian throws it into the Woburn zone. Russ Gay back for the Tanners, wheels it around to Chua. Can't handle it. Noon keeps it in, throws it back. Loose puck. Gay flips to Chua and he knocks it to center. Okay, Chris Chua takes the puck. Over to Jimmy Duran. Back to Chris Chua. He's in, shot, save, O'Connell. Russ Gay keeps it in. Nice fine play by Russ Gay. Good hit by Duran. And we're going to have a draw. No. Chua. Fine work by the Tanners. And then now it comes out to center ice.
Gary, looks like Wuburn's trying to get a little more physical. Jimmy Duran is hitting anything that moves out there. Of course, Jimmy, the fine tailback and place kicker on the Tanner Super Bowl team.
Jimmy Duran hits anything. He tries to hit anything he can at all times. That's the way he plays. And that's why he's the heart and soul of this Tanner team.
And I think right now he's trying to pick the team up. Of course, this team still has the lead, but it's not a safe one at 2-1 with plenty of times left.
8:41 to go here in the middle period as Jeff Lyons about set to face off with Matt Can. Billy Toomey clears it into the Spartan zone. Abruzzese back for Stoneham. Derek Abruzzese out to center. Rushes down the right side. Into the Woburn zone. Throws in front, knocked away by Cole. Here's a clear, stolen by Rando. His shot kicked out by Cole. And now Purcell, he's all by himself. Good hit by Sorabella. Thrown in front there by Laughlin. He's fighting in the corner with Rando. Abruzzese over now. And we're going to have another face-off. A lot of face-offs here in the second period, Steve.
The play is slowing down now a bit. Both teams a little cautious in their own end. They'd rather take the face-off, tie it up along the boards, than to blindly pass it out. Gary, saved by Tommy Cole just then, showing once again his fine stick work on Sunday night, just past Sunday night on March 6th. I saw one of the best goaltending performances of the season by Brian Lafort in Waltham, and that was one, attribution that the Waltham goalie had. He used his stick to clear passes, to deflect passes, and Tommy just does not sit pat in the net. He's like a third defenseman there.
Oh, Sylvia sees it go over a stick. Tropiano loses it in the corner, and it's cleared out by Edgerly. Cole flips it back to center. Brian McElhaney throws it back to the Spartan zone. Here's Noon over to Derek McCarthy. He rushes in and fires well wide. Edgerly with the rebound. He fires it wide as well. Noon with it at the point. Noon a shot. Blocked in front. Edgerly can't handle the rebound, and here comes Kenny Sylvia for the Tanners. Looking for McElhaney, and it eventually comes to Cole as the teams get a little rough in front of Brian O'Connell in the Spartan zone.
Gary, again, looking around the garden, it seems to be filling up. A lot of people here, and I suspect a lot of people will be here for both games. I see some Belmont and Reading people here early in attendance. Of course, the Reading-Belmont game is following this one, which will be seen from our Reading market. But with 7:20 to go, play kind of slowing down here with Woburn holding on a 2-1 lead. It's starting to turn into the defensive game, which we anticipated.
John Stone with it, gets it back to Gay. Gay flips it into the Tanner zone. Jackson and McElhaney going for it, back to the point. Cronin a shot. O'Connell pads it to the right-hand corner. Now here comes Edgerly, one-on-one with Russ Gay. And we're going to have an offside as Derek McCarthy just a stride ahead there, Steve.
Just a little bit, Gary. It was a good call there by the other official. I'm sorry we don't know his name. We know Ned Bunyan, as we see the other official there that called the infraction, and that stopped a fine scoring attempt by Derek Edgerly. Bearing down on the left wing, Derek, just a sophomore with 25 goals on the season. Gary, there's some talk that he might go out of town to play his high school hockey. If not next year, maybe a senior year, so we'll have to stay tuned to that one.
He's a bona fide private school player. Sorabella to Glenn Seabury, who dumps it into the Tanner zone. Al Cronin back for it, lost it. Craig Seabury on the right-hand corner. Comes back to the point to Abruzzese. He throws it through a screen. Cole a stop. Rebound right in front. Knocked away. And out comes Greg Thomas for Woburn. He throws it into the Spartan zone. Sorabella with it. Sorabella gets it to Brian Seabury, who lost it. And now the Tanners are back. Play ragged at center ice. Brian picks up the loose puck. Gives it right to Chris Jewell, who starts back for the Tanners. He's over the line. Knocked away by Sorabella. Throws it in front. Thomas. Oh, just wide. Rebound. Oh, great stop by Brian O'Connell. Chris Jewell had the whole upper side of the net, but he couldn't lift it right at the post.
Gary, we've been singing the praise of Tommy Cole for his stick work. Did you see that stick of Brian O'Connell showing fine goaltender's instinct and covering up that short side as Chris Jewell tried to tuck it in and give Woburn a 3-1 lead? But that man right there, the captain of the Spartans, co-captain actually, with Derek Abruzzese, Brian O'Connell, comes up big with the gilt-edged save, as Lance and Darby would say.
If Chris Jewell just could have lifted that puck, it would have been in the net. And we're getting to the point, Steve, where the next goal is going to be a big one.
Game is starting to settle right down on the defensive game, which we thought a 4-2, 3-2 game. But when both teams came out and lit up for 3 goals in the first period, we were like, uh-oh, you never know what's going to happen in the Garden. But it looks like it's going to come out that way.
Jackson throws it around the boards. Russ Gay keeps it in for the Tanners, flips it back in. Back Cronin at the point. Shot. Good skate save by O'Connell. Laughlin. Purcell, and sorry. And here comes Donnie Jackson. He brings it out for the Spartans. Broken up by Alan Cronin. And starting back is Jeff Lyons. He has one of the 2 Tanner goals. Shot blocked by Mike Noon. He can't clear. Here's Purcell with it. Lost it. Gay moves in from the point. And his pass blocked, and Donnie Jackson clears it. Al Cronin throws it back in. Noon intercepts, and he clears it. Playing hot potato with the puck right now, throwing it back to each other. Is Matt Cann now, carries into the Tanner zone. He's all by himself, can't get the shot away. Derek McCarthy now on, fighting for the puck, comes back to Abuzizi, flips it into the Tanner zone. We have a delayed offside. And Al Cronin, it's going to be called as Edgley touched the puck.
Gary, one rule I'd like to see high school hockey adopt is the tag-up rule that the colleges have now. You know, the puck gets dumped in and there's a skater on the other team in, but as long as he comes back and tags up on the blue line, thus the tag-up, you know, there's no advantage gained, and that would keep the play moving along, especially in high school hockey where it seems to be a lot of offsides.
They do have that rule in the private schools, Steve. I went to the prep school tournament and they utilized that rule. It's a good rule.
Another reason why they're the best, I guess, huh?
Puck cleared, Abrazizi takes it, moves it in. Looking for Edgley, just a bit too far. He collects in the corner though, right in front. And Cole covers it up as David Tropiano couldn't get his stick on the puck right in the crease.
Fine play by the Woburn defenseman. He's under the mass of humanity down there. We'd like to see who it is. I believe it's going to be Mike Barucci, who's just tied up David Tropiano, the little freshman there, number 25. And he could not get a good shot off on that nice pass from Derek Edgley. Gary, I think I've seen Tropiano slip a few times. He might have lost an edge. I know he gets his skates sharpened at Peter Doherty's Dynamic Sports, so I don't know if Mr. Doherty sabotaged things here for Stoneham. Of course, Dick Burnham might want to check those skate blades later.
Edgley on the draw with Kevin Johnstone to the right of Tommy Cole. Goes behind the net. Billy Toomey fighting with Tropiano. And puck still loose. Tropiano trying to center it. Can't. Edgley centers it. Nice play by Kenny Sylvia. It's intercept. Can't clear it. McCarthy lost it in the corner. Here comes Johnstone. Throws it into the sport. And we have a whistle. I believe the puck was under Derek Abuzizi. 4:11 left, second period. Still, Woburn 2, Stoneham 1.
Not much has happened since the early flurry back about the 12-minute mark of this second period. Again, Tanner's claiming that 1-goal lead. It's kind of a little feeling out right now. No one really wants to get, caught up ice as the Seabury Lions out there with Duran, but you never can tell with these teams, but it looks like it's turned into that defensive struggle, Gary.
Puck goes into the Stoneham zone. Mike Noon back for it. Looks for Craig Seabury. Can't clear. Jew with a shot. Goal! Looked like it might have hit something before it went in. Chris Jew intercepting the pass on the right wing, and he fired it on net, and it beat Brian O'Connell, and Woburn has the big 3-1 lead now, Steve.
That goal, that shot seemed to have surprised Brian O'Connell. I don't know if he was looking at the check along the boards, because referee Ned Bunyan got crushed. And I know I took my eye off it for a second, and I don't know if Brian did, but he seemed to be like stunned. He seemed to be like a second too late by flashing that pad. And I believe, Jew's shot, just, the quickness of the variety of it kind of, took Brian by surprise. And the Tanners now with 3-1 lead.
Hey. Donnie Jackson with it for Stoneham. He throws it to center ice. Jewer now for the Woburn. Puck goes over to the boards. Toomey throws it into the zone. Good hit over there on the board. Here comes Thomas. Right in front. It's loose. Durant can't get a stick on it. Jua tripped in front. And here comes Glenn Seabury looking for his brother. There he is. And we're going to have an offside call. No goal. No goal.
No, we got an offsides.
Ned Bunyan calling the two-line offside pass there. And there's no goal, even though the Stoneham fans don't know it yet.
They're going to get a rude awakening in about 1 second here.
Pass went to Craig Seabury. He went in alone on Tommy Cole. Put it through his legs, but it won't count. That's a big help for the Woburn Tanners right there.
That's a big no-goal right there. As this game would be down at 3-2, but the Tanners still holding on now. I did kind of think for a split second, I said he was in the zone a little bit too soon.
Nice Jewer with it on the right-hand corner. Smashed to the boards by Mike Noon. Durant fighting, and here's Glenn Seabury carrying out for Stoneham. Over to his brother Craig. Craig hounded by Chris Jewer. Glenn with it. He carries into the Woburn zone. He lost the puck, and it's cleared out by Michael Barucci for Woburn. Puck thrown back in. Barucci just dumps it to center ice. Tanners will be content to dump the puck as the puck hits somebody on the Woburn bench.
Gary, the goal was Chris Jewer. That was his 14th of the season. From Bill Toomey and Jimmy Duran at 10:59. And right now, a 2-goal cushion with Tommy Cole in net looks very big for the Tanners.
Sure is, Steve. Of course, tough to get one by Tommy Cole, but now the Spartans will have to get two by him just to tie this game.
We had a good look at the Spartan bench, of course, under Coach Dick Burnham. Now in his 10th year, the Stoneham Spartans back in the Garden for the first time since 1977.
Cronin throws it to center. Here comes Lyons over the line. Lost it. Sorabella up to Derek Edgley. He flashes through center ice. Here he comes. He's always a threat. Carries, throws it in on Cole. And Cole makes the stop and covers up as David Tropiano is flattened in front by Al Cronin.
So far, Gary, shots in the second period. Woburn is out shooting the Spartans 10-9. So presently, two-period total is Woburn 24 and Stoneham 19. Tanners definitely controlling the play for the most part. Stoneham does have little flashes, of course, with the two-line offside call and Craig Seabury. But the Spartans, I'm sure, are not going to be done just yet. They don't want to be have just a quick garden visit to wait 11 years and be done in one game without, quite a fight.
The draw goes back to Cronin. He just dumps it out. Sorabella back for the Spartans. His pass intercepted by Sylvia. Sylvia carries into the zone. Back just outside the line to Mike Barucci. Dumps it in anyways. We're going to have a delayed offside, and it's going to be called. Steve, the Spartans may have 9 shots on goal, but none of them really quality shots as the Tanner defense is keeping them away from front of the net.
Tommy Cole, I believe, was tested more in the first period than he has been in the second. Brian O'Connell definitely has had, by far, the more difficult of the hardware or the rubber shot at him. And right now, the Tanners with the 3-1 lead with 2:19 to go might have some glimpses of a title game in the back of their minds. Of course, still another full period of hockey remaining and 2:19 of this period.
Johnstone wins yet another face-off. Cronin with it behind the net. Bothered by Tropiano, now bothered by Edgley. Gets it out. Puck loose on the boards. Edgley gets it. He's hammered. Comes back. Sorabella, the shot deflected. We're going to have a penalty. It's going to be on the Tanners, Steve. And he's going to take Ken Sylvia, I do believe.
Well, they caught Sylvia for an elbow, Gary. And that's going to cost the Tanners a man in the penalty box for the next minute and 30 seconds. As we see Ken, number 5, the senior forward, 7 goals, 6 assists on the year for 13 points. But he's going to be sitting out the next minute and a half for an elbow infraction, and that penalty comes at 12:59. So the Spartans going back on the power play. Dearly love to get that second goal before the second period intermission.
Abruzzese, the shot, blocked by Jua and cleared by Alan Cronin. Of course, Stoneham would dearly need a goal here late in the second to just get some momentum back. Here's Edgley. Gives off to Glenn Seabury. Glenn carries. Knocked off the puck by Thomas. Craig Seabury circles at center ice. Craig into the Tanner zone. Craig looks. Back to Abruzzese, over to Edgley. Edgley shot blocked by Thomas. It's loose in front. And it's cleared by Chris Jua.
Could have called a hand pass in that. They let that one go. For Woburn, that is.
Edgley back for it. He starts the rush out. He can fly. Here he comes. Over to Glenn. Glenn back to Derek Edgley's shot just wide of Cole. And Glenn is hammered into the boards. Abruzzese keeps it in. Abruzzese moving in. Shot blocked. Shot saved. Cole. Rebound saved by Tommy Cole.
Unbelievable stop by Tommy Cole. And Derek Abruzzese is talking to himself right now. I don't know how he stopped that second shot, Gary. As there you see him right there with the puck, and Tommy Cole comes up big once again.
That's why he's number one, Steve. All alone, Craig Seabury, and he thwarted him.
The Spartans got to be talking to themselves right now as Alan Cronin going over there to his big goaltender saying, way to go, buddy. That was just a major league stop. That's why Tommy Cole will be wearing the black and red of the Northeastern Huskies next season, and also probably skating a few games in the Boston Garden, like in some Beanpot and Hockey East games for the Huskies.
23 seconds left on the power play as Billy Toomey clears it down the ice. Donnie Jackson back for the Spartans. We got 45 seconds left here in the second period. Jackson passed too far ahead of Derek McCarthy, and Al Cronin just dumps it back up. Here's Michael Noon for Stoneham. Pass intercepted by Duran, and we're going to have an offside. 31 seconds left here now.
That has to be a demoralizing stop by Tommy Cole. What he did to thwart Craig Seabury and Derek Abruzzese on this Stoneham power play, which is now up. And Woburn looking very good right now with a 3-1 lead. The next goal is going to be the big one. If Stoneham can get it, we're going to still have a hockey game. If Woburn gets it, it's pretty much going to be, we're going to see you Saturday in the finals.
And they will go into that game knowing that they haven't lost to Reading yet, assuming Reading does beat Belmont. So that should be an interesting game. Or will have been, depending on what time this game is on. Sylvia, here's David Tropiano carrying over the line. He's hit down by Billy Toomey. Nice check. Billy Toomey just knocked him to the ice.
Tropiano, just a freshman. He's going to take his lumps.
Winding down here in the period. Johnstone steals late in the shot, just wide, and that'll do it here in the second period. Another good period for the Tanners. Score after two, Woburn 3, Stoneham 1, Steve.
Well, Gary, there wasn't many goals, but the one goal we did get was a big one. As you see Tommy Cole, the lifesaver, as he comes up big with some big stops in that last power play. And there's Brian O'Connell. Doesn't look like the too enthused at this point. He's done everything he could, just that his mates aren't getting him much help in the other end, as Tommy Cole is coming up very big in the other end for Woburn. Gary, shots in that period, Stoneham had 11 and Woburn had 10.
Okay, there's Brian O'Connell. He has not played a bad game himself. He finds himself down at this point, 3-1, and the Spartans in the locker room will have to regroup. They have to beat Tommy Cole twice, and there's still 15 minutes to do it.
Well, Gary, I guess that's going to do it for the second period. We're going to be back very briefly with some highlights, and then we're going to bring you some exciting third period action again for the Boston Garden in the MIAA Division I North semifinal game. It is Woburn 3 and Stoneham 1.
Back here between the second and third period at the Boston Garden, Woburn 3, Stoneham 1. We're going to see some highlights of that second period shortly. Here's the play they called offside. No, Derek Edgley moving in. Tommy just shot it wide of the Woburn zone.
Well, Gary, I don't know what that was. There wasn't much of a bid, really. But then again, there really wasn't that many good scoring opportunities in that period. There was the goal by Woburn, and there was also the offside call when we had an apparent Stoneham goal taken away, whistled away because of the offsides. Still another 3.5 minutes away from third period action. Again, Woburn leads at 3-1 here on the Continental Cable Systems Network on Super Tuesday, March 8th. We have an all-Middlesex League semifinal doubleheader. We're taking a look at some of the Woburn people across the way, Gary. A little pensive now, getting ready for a big third period. And they're ahead 3-1. Some of the Reading and Belmont crowd is also in here a bit early, wanting to see, their other Middlesex League members, play here at the Garden. Quite a big night here for the Middlesex League.
Okay, Tommy Cole having a big game for the Tanners, and we're about to see one of his saves. Oh, they foiled us again. It's a big save by Brian O'Connell.
You can't fault Brian O'Connell for anything. I mean, he's allowed 3 goals, but he's been, under pressure, good, solid goalie. But Tommy Cole has just been a little bit better right now. Of course, Tommy's getting a little bit better defensive support, I believe. But it's going to be still anybody's game going in the third period, but you still got to give a little edge to Woburn with the 2-goal lead and the all-scholastic goaltender in the net.
Okay, we're going to see another replay coming up shortly. Another one of the fine stops in this hockey game as we watch the Zamboni cleaning
nice
ice.
Advertisement for Bush.
Here it is right here.
No, this is just the goal.
Yep, this is the goal. Juba. There it is. Just picked up the loose puck on the right boards and turned and fired that shot that he patented in the Chelmsford game. As we see some of the Stoneham fans.
Chris Jewett, fine play, hitting that puck on the goal. Yeah, as there was a battle among the boys between a Stoneham and a Woburn player. I believe that was Bill Toomey there, as official Ned Bunyan got croaked against the boys, and Chris Jewett just took the puck. I believe it was on edge, and he just rifled it by Brian O'Connell in the net, and that made it 3-1 right now.
Okay, coming up we're going to see Craig Seabury on a breakaway, but a play that was called offside for a 2-line pass. Maybe we'll be able to see on the screen just how it was a 2-line pass.
Gary, I've already heard your prediction for the Reading Belmont game. I'm going to give you mine. Reading 5, Belmont zip.
Okay, here it is. Yep, it definitely was a 2-line pass.
Oh.
Craig moved in, and the shot. Oh, okay.
I want to say I believe he was offsides anyways, because I believe he was just in the zone. Our camera didn't really pick it up on time, but when he took the pass, he seemed to be a couple of strides already in. So I think, irregardless, he was offsides, just flat out. We take a look at some of the banners here at the Boston Garden. It is the Stanley Cup Championships. Of course, a lot of players, they like to come here and take a look at these banners, and the retired Bruins, and actually the Celtics numbers are here too. In the past, when there was hockey games, they would roll up the Celtic banners. And
Made several in that second period.
is this on the power play, I believe?
Here's the great saves. Watch this slop on Bruce Easy. Watch this. Larceny right there with the glove.
Right pad save on Abruzzese. Then he followed up with the glove off Craig Seabury. And that's really the difference right there. That was such a demoralizing save and such a booster for the Tanners. And they have a very solid 3-1 lead here. But the Spartans, as we see coming out on the ice right now, Gary, have a lot of guns. And they own a victory over Woburn this season. And so we're going to be in for a very interesting and exciting third period, I do believe.
As we saw in that replay, Craig Seabury did lift the puck, but it was an outstanding glove stop. As we look at some of the Stoneham fans who are hoping for a comeback by their team. They have 15 minutes left. Stoneham, a fine contingent here today, as well as the fine contingent from the Woburn side, as we see here behind one of the goals.
Who's that?
Mo LeMay, the answer to the Bruins' problems.
Of course, they traded one of our favorites, Jeff Courtnall. And they got Andy Moog. But, let's get back to
Andy Moog is a good player, but I can't understand the thought behind that trade.
Again, we take a look at part of the crowd here. That's the Stoneham side, I do believe. As we're getting ready for third period action, as we take a look at the Tanners surrounding Tommy Cole, been the big difference so far in this game. The Tanners taking a 3-1 lead, is about ready to start third period action.
Okay. Here's Brian O'Connell talking with Tropiano, gives him a pat on the head. Here comes Derek Edgerly, giving some last words of encouragement for Brian O'Connell. But it's the offense that's going to have to do it here, Steve.
So, Gary, I'm sure it's going to be an exciting final 15 minutes. So everybody at home throughout the Continental Cable Network in Billerica, Wilmington, Stoneham, Burlington, of course, Woburn. Division I North semifinal hockey tournament action. Kevin Johnstone and Derek Edgley on the draw. Johnstone wins against it to Alan Cronin. Now play on at center ice. Edgley will try to send it in, but now we have an offsides. That puck was deflected, and a Stoneham play was just over the end, just 8 seconds into the final 15 minutes of play. A lot of people filing in here. Gary, as we're getting ready for a second game coming up at the conclusion of this one. Of course, there will be overtime, so we may be here for a while, but Woburn enjoying a 3-1 lead right at this moment. Play on, Mike Barucci back for it. Clears it into the neutral zone. Steve Sorabella with the puck. He fans on a pass. Sorabella with the puck. And Tommy Cole sticks it off the boards. Kept in by Abruzzese. Cole has to make the save. Alan Cronin without a stick. Sweeps to the side. Sorabella with it. His wrist shot is deflected by Sylvia. And now McElhaney off the boards out front. McCarthy with it. Look the deal at the backhand. It goes wide. Edgley out front. Rebound. His puck is loose. Tropiano is tied up by Cronin. Still without a stick. McCarthy with it. Over to Edgley. Wrist shot goes wide of Cole. And the impetus of that shot is going to go all the way back into the Stoneham end, where Abruzzese has to collect it. And he'll start up, intercepted by Johnstone. Abruzzese to center ice is Edgley. Forecheck by Cronin. His wild pass is collected by the Tanners, and they start up. Duran, now his Jewer at center ice. Chris Jewer over to Greg Thomas, tries to tee it up, but it's blocked by Sorabella. Here's Abruzzese clearing it in. Oh, Craig Seabury again offsides. We're going to have a stoppage in play. 13:27 to go, third period.
That's the kind of offensive flurry Stoneham's going to need here in this third period. Unfortunate for them, they couldn't cash in as they had both Tommy Cole and Alan Cronin without sticks there for a while.
Craig Seabury got the goal for the Spartans, Gary. 31 on the year, and he'll be back next year to terrorize the Middlesex League. Glenn Seabury and Jim Duran on the draw, won by the Spartans. Brian Seabury over to brother Craig. Craig tied up now by Jewer. Controls the puck. Now gets it to Glenn. Glenn gets by Cronin. Oh, a heavy hit by Jimmy Duran. And Craig Seabury loses his helmet. He'll go retrieving it as we have a whistle.
Did he get the number of that truck?
Gary, Jimmy
helmet,
Duran, as we said, what a
helmet
hitter.
went about 50 feet. That's a crunching hit by Jimmy Duran.
Official Ned Bunyan about to drop the puck. Duran and Glenn Seabury on the draw. Here comes Glenn, and I guess we get another offsides. This game definitely not without its whistles.
As Glenn takes a little poke at Jimmy Duran as they skated by after the whistle.
Seaburys don't take any calls from anybody, Gary. I mean, they won't back down. Tough kids.
As good as they are offensively, they are aggressive players, and they like to mix it up.
Here's Cronin now collecting the puck up to Duran at the blue line. Sport check by Brian Seabury. Nice play. Now play in the neutral zone. Donnie Jackson's going to send it in, but we're going to have offsides again as Glenn Seabury couldn't clear the zone. 12:54 to go in the third period.
Of course, the Tanners in the second period changed their lines around a bit, putting the Jimmy Duran line against the Seaburys, and it has worked. For the most part, the Seaburys have not been flying around the Woburn zone while the teams have been 5-on-5.
Jeff Lyons on the draw has one of the 3 Woburn goals on the night. It's now sent in where Alan Cronin, the big all-league defenseman, starts it up to Lyons. Forecheck nicely by Abruzzese. Now Abruzzese gets it to Rando. A little too long for him. Taken there by Toomey. Toomey forecheck there by Can. Now Russo with it out front. Cole has to make a skate stop of a partially directed centering pass. Now Abruzzese fans. Purcell forechecks. Now is collected by Toomey. Blocked nicely by Bob Rando. And now Toomey will send it off the glass. Behind O'Connell, chasing for it is McElhaney. By Purcell, excuse me. Now it's going to be kept in the right point by Russell Gay. Big slap shot on ice. Save. Puck is loose. Lyons is tied up by Abruzzese. Couldn't get a stick on it. Now they battle along with Rando. Now the Spartans starting up. Matt Can, number 7, gets by Toomey. Actually gets, now is the maneuvering out front. Sorabello is in deep. But the Tanners control and play on in center ice. Here's Bill Toomey with the puck. Tanners get a change. Donnie Jackson goes into his zone and collects the loose puck. Can't make connection with Sorabella. Now the Tanners try to control a neutral zone. Puck is loose. Derek Edgley chases with Bill Toomey. They bang on the boards where McElhaney now collects the loose puck. He sends along the left wing boards. Johnstone tries to poke it away from Jackson. He does, and he has a 2-on-1 now with Sylvia. Puck just a little bit too long for Johnstone. Tanner's now send it in. We have delayed offsides, and now we'll get the whistle. Gary, we have a stoppage in play.
Kevin Johnstone, a little over anxious on that play. Saw the 2-on-1 developing in front of him and just pushed the puck a little too far ahead. And Michael Noon was able to break up the play for the Spartans.
Take a look at the junior defensive man, number 19, Mike Noon. Also a football player for the Stoneham High football team. There's a draw in the neutral zone. Tanner's control. Johnstone chases it. There's Noon with the puck. Sends it around the boards for Donnie Jackson. McElhaney intercepts, but Jackson gets it back. And the Spartans start up. Here's Edgley. Tries to poke it away from Barucci. Now intercepted by Tropiano. He's forechecked off the play there by McElhaney. Cronin with the slap shot goes wide of O'Connell. Now Derek McCarthy collects the puck. Bang there with Brian McElhaney. Jackson gives him a couple of shoves. And now we have another stoppage in play with 10:44 to go.
The Tanners content to play their defensive style here in the third period, not willing to take any offensive chances. And they don't really have to. With the 3-1 lead, they're making Stoneham come to them. And with a guy like Cole in the net, they can do that. 10:44 left, 3-1 Woburn.
Tommy Cole's been one of the big keys to this game, if not the number one star. Still 10:40 to go, so we're going to see what lies ahead. Jimmy Durant tries to make connections with Greg Thomas. They can't do that, but now Jewar gets in, he collects, he gets by Sorabella, out front to Durant, scores!
Great play. Great play by Chris Jewar. He knew right where Jimmy Durant was going to be, put the blind pass right on Jimmy's stick. And when Jimmy Durant's open in the slot, that's about as automatic as you can get. Pick that top far corner, and now it's a commanding 4-1 lead. And Stoneham's in deep trouble, Steve.
Well, the Tanners capitalizing on some defensive breakdowns on the Spartan end, and Jimmy Durant, a goal scorer, Gary, as you've indicated. That is goal number 18 on the year for the Woburn co-captain, as we take a look at some of the Woburn fans across the way. And now it's a big 4-1 Woburn lead.
O'Connell really didn't have a chance on the play, as Jimmy snapped that off in a hurry.
Spartans trying to threat the Seabury line out there. Stoneham's going to need a goal and quick to get back in this game. Play in the neutral zone. Abruzzese to Glenn Seabury. They've been held in check pretty much. Gets by Cronin. Oh, he didn't have a winger there to pick up that pass. Abruzzese, big shot. Blocked out front. Now Brian Seabury back to Abruzzese looking for a shot. Top of the circle, big drive goes wide of Cole. Sorabella keeps it in. His shot goes wide. And here's Brian Seabury, takes a hit there from Toomey. Puck is loose now. Brian Seabury. Spartans put it on the pressure. Woburn trying to hit him. Well, Craig Seabury gets by Jewar. Now Alan Cronin. Oh, I think we're going to have a penalty on Glenn Seabury, Gary, for a hooking call.
Play getting rough now, as the Spartans showing some of their frustration. There's Glenn saying a few words to Jimmy Durant, who wisely just disregards it. And the Tanners are going to be on the power play. It's going to be their first power play of the game, Steve. Up, nope. Sorry, they got both of them.
We're going to have matching penalties. I believe Durant might get the charge and Seabury the hook. Well, we'll wait for PA announcer Jim Pryor to announce the infractions here. In any event, we're going to have 4-on-4. These are not coincidental minors as you get in the NHL. As official Ned Bunyan's going to drop the puck in between Matt Cann, who's going to take the draw for Stoneham. And we're going to have number 21, Kevin Johnstone, for Woburn. Here's Donnie Jackson with the puck. With the puck is 17, Steve Purcell. Tanner's trying to get something out of this 4-on-4 situation. Gary, recap the penalties for us. I believe I had the wrong infraction.
Okay, for Stoneham, it's Glenn Seabury, a minor for slashing. And Jimmy Durant, Woburn's captain, got a minor for charging at the 5:32 mark.
Face-off coming in the neutral zone. Matt Cann, a junior third-line center. For the Spartans, draws with Johnstone. We're going to have a shot on from the red line. Easily sticked aside by O'Connell. Now the Spartans trying to start up. Johnstone, nice hit. Taken by Purcell. He's going to walk in. Backhand a save. As O'Connell gets knocked into the net there by Johnstone. But there's no goals called as
Brian O'Connell
shaking up now
might
in
be
the
hurt
Stoneham net.
as he went
We're going to have a stoppage in play here.
went hard into that post as Kevin Johnstone slid into him as there's going to be another penalty on Stoneham. Derek Edgley's going to be going out for tripping. As he must have tripped up Johnstone, who in turn slid into Brian O'Connell, who looks like he's all right.
In that event, the Tanners are going to be enjoying a 4-on-3 situation. The face-off is going to come to the right of Brian O'Connell. We take a look at Derek Edgley on our left, and now we get a good look at Brian O'Connell. Still a little shaken up after getting banged into the post there in the Spartan net.
Steve Purcell of Woburn made a nice rush, got by the Spartan defenseman, walked in, and O'Connell did make the stop on him. Now it's a power play for Woburn, their first of the game.
Bruzzese tries to ice it, and he does not. Kept in by Toomey. Nice play. It's Purcell. Now we're going to have a hand pass called. As there's another stoppage in play, we're going to have a face-off to O'Connell's right.
Time dwindling here for Stoneham. 8:48 left to play, and it's a 4-1 Woburn lead. Tanners have really played a fine game here tonight.
Face-off now in the neutral zone. We got 8:48 left in the game. Excuse me. Now the Tanners dump it in behind O'Connell. Here's Cronin walking in now, holding the puck. Goes to the other circle. Back to the point now is Toomey. Cronin looks to wind up. Over to Johnstone, can't connect. Now Kevin Winter gets banged by Derek Abruzzese. Now it's cleared finally into the center ice zone by Matt Can. 23 seconds left on the matching minors. 50 seconds left on Edgley's penalty. Abruzzese checks Cronin. Now Allen dumps it behind the net where Sorabella and Johnstone bang, and now O'Connell comes out and gets the face-off with 8:09 left in the third period.
42 seconds left on the power play for Woburn. Tanners still holding on to that 4-1 lead.
Play slowing down here with 8:09 to go. The Tanners in command with a 4-1 lead, Gary. They look destined to be playing that North sectional final on Saturday. Of course, they'll be playing either Reading or Belmont, because by the time you're viewing this game at home, you know the outcome of that game and perhaps also of the final. But once again, we're glad to bring you this game. Steve Algieri along with Gary Demopoulos taking time out from our writing chores at the Daily Times Chronicle, which is here en masse covering both these games as we will be for the finals. Sorabella now backhands it back to the point where it's kept in by Barucci. He battles with Brian Seabury. Now Jua comes up with it. The Miners are up. Wrist shot goes wide. It's now a 5-on-4 situation for the Tanners. It's chasing it is Bill Toomey. 20 seconds left on Edgley's penalty. But it's going to be intercepted by Craig Seabury. Two Woburn players collide there. No real harm done. Here's now Greg Thomas. You're going to have a 2-on-1. Here comes Jua with Duran. To Duran. Duran tries to get to the Jew. He does save by O'Connell. Shot to score!
Spartans late coming back on that play. Can't fault Brian O'Connell. He made the big stop on the first shot, but Chris Jua had all the time in the world to put that rebound home, and now it's horses out of the barn now. It's 5-1.
Well, Gary, it's a power play goal. Chris Jewa's second of the night and goal number 15 on the season as Woburn, a surprisingly 5-1 lead here in the third period, Gary. We expect this game to be a lot closer, but you get that goaltending, and Tommy Cole has done it. But that man right there, Brian O'Connell, a very disheartened young man, I am sure, can't really fault him for that goal as he was hung out to dry.
That was a good play by Jimmy Duran, who knew he had a bouncing puck, wisely stopped and just flipped the pass back to Jua, who was making a run at tournament MVP. That's his 5th goal in 2 games.
And Jua very calmly collected his rebound and knew he had to lift it up high and did just that. That goal coming at 7:31 on the power play. And again, Woburn with a 5-1 lead. Derek McCarthy now up for Tropiano. The Spartans, not to be ashamed of. They've had a fine season, Gary, getting to the Garden. And right now, they have to be the choice to win the league next season. Yeah, we have a whistle. Derek McCarthy's helmet comes ajar. As again with the I-Tech face mask, Gary, you have the movable chin straps, and they're able to, jar loose with a good check.
Billy Toomey with the fine hit there. The goal, Chris Dewar, and the assist went to Jimmy Duran at 7:31 on the power play, as the Spartans had one of their defensemen caught up ice looking for a much-needed goal, and that's going to happen when you're down 4-1. You have to take chances, and they got burnt there.
Can't blame the Spartans. They have to make something happen. They had to take some chances. Like you said, Gary, you leave yourself, out to be burnt, and they were. As the Tanners came down with their two seniors, Duran and Dewar, on a 2-on-1, you got to like the odds on that. Just under 7 minutes to go. O'Connell will hold the puck as the Woburn crowd is saying, "We want Reading." And I guess they have this one in hand. Now kept in by Sylvia. Woburn trying to add to the lead. And now we have another whistle coming and a stoppage in play. Gary, I guess it's a little too early to say if it's going to be Woburn Reading, but again, what do you like in that game now? If it's going to be Woburn Reading final, it's going to be a tough matchup for the Rockets and the Tanners. Could you really consider Woburn a favorite? You might have to. Tommy Cole, 4-1-1 lifetime against the Rockets, and they have got a win and a tie this season against the Rockets. So it's going to be a very interesting game if it is indeed going to be Reading Woburn.
It will be. Definitely has to be rated a toss-up at this point, as Woburn will have another power play here. Defenseman Mike Noon going off for hooking. As
6:34 to go in the hockey game. In this MIA Division I North semifinal game, brought to you along Continental Cable Systems. This is Steve Algieri along with Gary Demopoulos, again taking time out from tedious chores at the Daily Times Chronicle. I want to thank Dick and Jim Haggerty, Peter Haggerty, and Paul Haggerty for allowing us the opportunity to play broadcaster here tonight. Of course, we're going to be bringing the second game to our Reading audiences and perhaps to our Belmont audience along pirated VCR tapes. Okay, players on in the Stoneham end. Kevin Johnstone is going to get a penalty as he racked Bobby Rando up high with a check. It's probably going to be an elbow. And I believe, well, it is going to be Johnstone, Gary. I haven't seen the infraction yet, but we're going to get it from the other official, and that's what it is, an elbow. That penalty coming at 8:49 of the third period.
Steve, maybe a few words on the crowd here today. The crowd's been very well behaved.
Yeah, especially the Stoneham crowd behind us. It's tough to be down 5-1, but they still haven't lost their enthusiasm. They're hoping to get something happen right here. They're looking to get some respect. Sorabella keeps it in Abruzzese. Here's Brian Seabury. Big shot! Oh! Tommy Cole just deflected it wide. Kept in by Sorabella. Now puck is into the neutral zone. Now back to the spot end where Sorabella has to collect it. Head man's it for Brian Seabury. Also a junior will be back. The three triplets. The Seabury triplets will be back. Of course, the father, Bill Seabury, assistant coach to Dick Burnham. Here's Brian Seabury into the slot. Weak shot, easily stopped by Cole. There's a bang in there on Cronin with Matt Cann.
Cole without a stick again, Steve.
It gives a big chance here for Stoneham. Brian Seabury, he loses the puck. Taken by Toomey, and he gets the big slap shot and ices it and keeps the Tanners out of trouble for now. Okay, spot and start. Here comes Steve Sorabella with the puck in center ice. Over goes to Glenn Seabury, makes a nice shift, but can't get by Bill Toomey. Glenn still with the puck, takes a bang there from Steve Purcell. Kept in by Abruzzese, walking on top of the circle. Tries to hit Glenn Seabury, can't do it. Tommy Cole, very good with the stick. Sends it back to Brian Seabury. Now Glenn tries to get it, but kept in now by Brian. To Glenn over to Brian. Brian, wrist shot, saved by Cole. Rebound, Craig. This goes wide. Okay, the Tanners are back to even strength. Rebound. Oh, difficult shot. Tommy Cole deflects it over the net. Spartans keep it on. Abruzzese. Shot save. Rebound out front. Taken to the corner by Cronin. Spartans keep the pressure on. Here comes Kevin Johnson. We have another 2-on-1 with Sorabella back. Big slap shot.
Oh.
Fine save by O'Connell, deflecting that wide. We're going to have a slash, Gary. I believe on Glenn Seabury, perhaps. Frustration is starting to show on Stoneham's play on the ice. With 4:16 to go in a 5-1 hockey game in favor of Woburn. Stoneham is starting to take some foolish penalties.
Nothing but frustration on that play, as he was well behind the play, and frustration. 4:16 left to play here. 5-1, Woburn ahead. As Brian O'Connell should get a medal for staying in front of that Kevin Johnstone rocket.
Gary, I guess we'll give him a third star of this game. The old Wendy's, Pizza Hut, Pepsi Cola, and whatever free ads we're not getting for this game's star of the game. Tanner's on the power play, looking to add to their 5-1 lead. Jimmy Duran with the puck. Tries to get by Tropiano. Takes a check from Rando. Now here comes David Tropiano on a 2-on-2. Oh, we have an offsides. Number 12, Bob Rando, just a stride or two ahead of Trope on that play.
Right there could be a case of two players not used to playing on the same line, as Rando is just a stride ahead of the good-looking young freshman Dave Tropiano. He should be a star in this league for
the assist he had to win the Medford game. Fine play. Shoveling over to Derek Edgley. And Edgley's backhander put the Spartans where they are right now in this garden. And even though it's going to be a one and done, a brief stay, Stoneham got here. And with a lot of players back, I'm sure they might get here again next year. Okay, here comes Jewell behind the net. Takes a check there behind the net from Robert Zook, seeing his first shift of the game. Now Cole will leave it for Jim Duran. Little mix-up behind the net there. Tropiano. Oh, there's a nice hit on Duran. Fine play by Tropiano. Now he comes up with the loose puck. Tries to get something happen. And he's still battling. He gets buried on a check from Barucci. A lot of guts there by David Tropiano. Fine player, though. Spartans trying to get something to happen here. They're short-handed. Now Tropiano falls on the ice, loses his helmet, and that's Mike Barucci. They're both shaking up there as we see David Tropiano down there. I didn't really see what happened, but Trop might have the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, Mike Barucci slammed him to the ice. This play once again getting rough. Both teams throwing their weight around. Stoneham partly because of frustration.
Unfortunately, in a game like this, when obvious, frustrations, they get out of hand. Woburn in full control, 5-1. It's unfortunate to see something happen like that. We hope David Tropiano's all right. He looks to be okay as he gets up on his feet. Just a freshman. We get a good look at the young freshman, David Tropiano. He'll have at least 3 more years left for him at Stoneham, most likely, Gary. And a fine play and a very gutsy kid.
Hey, Woburn 3 minutes from the Division I North final.
Of course, Woburn, Gary, expected to win it all in the Middlesex League. Injuries perhaps curtailed that dream. When Jim Duran and Pat Durkin got into the Reading game, they came out of that game with a 3-3 tie and tied for first, but those injuries were tough to make up as Woburn soon fell off the pace.
Of course, Jimmy Duran missed the Stoneham game that the Spartans won 2-1. That had a lot to do with it.
Sean Quinlan now, number 24, another freshman for the Spartans, getting his first turn on the ice, as is a few of the Tanners. Number 22, Steve Mealy. And Steve Mealy, it's a short stay as he's going to the box.
Little over anxious there going after the puck as he tripped up Ted Clark, Stoneham Jr.
So just 2:51 remains before this game's termination. Woburn crowd getting a very festive mood over there. They can smell that title game, and perhaps with a battle with Reading. Or Belmont, perhaps. You can't count out the Marauders. Face-off in the neutral zone now sent into the Tanner end, where number 18, Bill Toomey, collects it. He's forechecked there by Derek McCarthy, who will also be back next year for the Spartans. Now Chris Jewell, 2 goals on the night. Gets it through center ice, Greg Thomas, but Jewell just a stride offsides, Gary. And we're going to have one of many face-offs now for an offsides call.
Woburn just assume have as many face-offs as they want. You know, they're not going to take any chances at all. They're just going to dump the puck, and wait for the clock to run out.
Just 2:36 to go. There's Chris Chua, star of the game. Logged some airtime on Hockey Night recently for his 3 goals against Chelmsford. Of course, Tommy Cole's goaltending. Tommy not really too tested this period, Gary, but because of his saves, it got Woburn into their 3-1 lead, and then the rest just took over. The Tanners capitalized on some good breaks, and they're in a commanding 5-1 lead. Spartans on the power play now, trying to get that second goal. Here's Glenn over to Brian. Shot saved by Cole. Just as we said, he wasn't tested. Comes up with a big chest save. Here's Craig Seabury at center ice, trying to stop back for the Spartans. Intercepted by Greg Thomas and cleared back into the Stoneham end, where Derek Edgley collects the puck, makes a shift by Jewer, starts it in the Woburn end, got a 1-on-3, goes by Toomey, walking in, shot just goes wide of Cole. Fine rush, still the same by the sophomore. Now Edgley can't keep it in as Greg Thomas ices it. Brian O'Connell will make the play. We're under 2 minutes from the Boston Garden. Woburn 5, Stoneham 1 in this Division I North semifinal game. Again, it's cleared. The Tanners applying their muscle once again on the Spartans. Spartans aren't backing down, to their credit. Minute and a half to go. Here comes Brian Seabury. The Seabury's trying for one last gasp here on the Garden ice. Takes a bang from McElhaney. Now it's Glenn. Back to the point for Derek Edgley. Wrist shot. Goes wide. Cole sticks it aside off the rebound. Now 2 players collide. And we're going to have a hitting from behind.
Sylvia.
I do believe Sylvia, Gary?
I believe it is Kenny Sylvia. So Stoneham will be on the power play for the rest of this game. Although it doesn't really matter at this point. The game is signed, sealed, and delivered.
Okay, just 1:10 to go. Spartans on the power play with 1:10 left. Here's Alan Cronin with the puck. Bangs it off the boards and out. Brian O'Connell with the puck. Tries to leave it for Donnie Jackson. He's going to have to make a save. Puck was loose dangerously. It's picked up there now by Larry Russo. And he starts out. Russo over to Matt Can. Can tries to shift by Toomey. He does. Oh, sending it across for Russo. Couldn't collect. Abruzzese. Shot is stopped out front. Jackson with a big shot goes wide. Senior defenseman for Stoneham with 36 seconds left. Here's Cronin. Kept in by Abruzzese. Shot goes wide of Cole. And now cleared.
We love you, Stoneham!
The Stoneham fans have not lost their faith as they got here. Fine effort this season for the Spartans. Starting back, one last gas, 16 seconds to go. Matt Can gonna walk in on Cole. Shot off, another fine save by Cole. With 10 seconds to go, Robin Matt Can. Now the Tanners start out Jeff Lyons. 4 seconds left. 3 seconds, and that's going to do it, Gary. We're going to have Woburn in the finals against possibly Reading or Belmont in the Garden on Saturday.
Just a super effort by the Tanners in all facets of the game. Defense played well. They got the 5 goals, and of course the big guy in the net came up with the big stops. And Woburn is now into the finals against either Reading or Belmont. And I'll tell you, Steve, I've watched Woburn hockey for the last 4 years, and this may be the best game I've ever seen them play. They must like to play here at the Garden.
Gary, just a complete all-around game. They showed a lot of offense, some good hard hitting, some skating, and of course, first and foremost, a hot goaltender in Tommy Cole.
And if you want to look at that goal by Craig Seabury, it did bounce in off his skate, so Tommy very well could have had a shutout.
So again, the final score from the Boston Guns, we're looking at the team shaking hands, is Stoneham 1, Woburn 5. Can't fault the Spartans as Glenn Seabury, an all-league junior forward, gets congratulated from Frank Newak as we see the victorious Tanners going in down the runway. We're just moments away from the Reading-Belmont game. And just a fine game for Woburn, and no disgrace as we see Pat Durkin on the crutches. I'm sure that young man would like to be here. His loss was very tough on the Woburn defensive core, Gary, but the Tanners came up big tonight with a 5-1 win.
Yep, and they played that so well tonight, even without David Caruso as well. And Stoneham will be back next year. You can be sure of that. They have some fine players.
Gary, a little recap of the goal scorers tonight.
Okay, for the Tanners, Chris Jua, hot man in the tournament, had 2 more goals tonight. Jimmy Duran, the leading scorer in the team, had 1, as did Jeff Lyons and Greg Thomas. Stoneham's goal, Craig Seabury, came very early, 1:29 into the game.
And that was the first goal of the game. The Spartans held a 1-0 lead. So that's going to just about do it here from the Boston Garden, the Division I North semifinal game between Woburn and Stoneham. We hope to see you in the Woburn audiences for the finals, and of course also on the Continental Cable systems. We hope to be bringing you that game. So once again, for Gary Demopoulos, this is Steve Algieri, the final from the Boston Garden. Woburn 5, Stoneham 1. Thanks for being with us.